Hello and welcome to the first edition of the Dad Talking Autism video blog. This is an interactive blog which really relies on you guys joining in to help generate the conversation. And as always, feel free to comment and to send us an email with any questions or queries that you might have. This being the first blog is still in the experimental stage, but hopefully I can tell you a little bit more about Dad Talking Autism, a little bit more about what we're trying to achieve, and how to contact us and how to get involved in the conversation. So, a little bit more about Dad Talking Autism. Dad Talking Autism is an organisation that's been set up to help dads understand the world of autism a little bit better. And it's not just for dads. It's for the whole family. It's for everyone to get involved with, to really just try to make sure that we can give our children the best as they grow up, and helping ourselves out, helping us understand a little bit more about how our children see the world. So let me just explain to you a little bit more about Dad Talking Autism and about how we work and what it's all about. So Dad Talking Autism basically has three main objectives. The first objective is to celebrate our children. Now, this is so important to me, and in my ethos. We need to make sure that we really empower these children to go on and achieve what they want to achieve, and how they want to achieve it. So as well as celebrating everything they do really well, and our kids are unique and they have some fantastically awesome talents, and we need to really empower them to use those, but we also need to talk about the limitations, and we need to understand how that affects the way they grow up, the way they interact with other people, and how the family works. So it's really important that we talk about that and try to understand the behaviours a little bit more. It is quite hard for dads sometimes, not always being there, not necessarily being the primary carer. So sometimes we don't get to see all the behaviours and understand how they work and why the children are doing that. And so from that perspective, I really want to answer those questions. If you've got any questions, if you're concerned about the way that your child behaves, you don't really understand it, drop us a message and we'll have a look at it. We'll maybe talk about it here, or we can talk about it offline, or we can talk about it through some other mediums that we use. The next focus for Dad Talking Autism is looking at the primary carer, which 9 times out of 10 is mum. And mum gets to go along to all the appointments and to meet with all the medical people that are involved in the care of our children, and they tend to find out a little bit more about the condition. They tend to understand it a little bit more. They tend to get their questions answered straight away, which sometimes makes it really hard for dad to get it, for dad to understand what's going on. So we're looking at ways that we communicate with our partners. Do we ask enough questions? Do we ask the right questions? Are there any questions that we're afraid to ask because we feel they might be a little bit silly? So that's one of the things we focus on. And again, we just acknowledge and celebrate what the prime carer, what the mums, our partners, what they do to look after these children. It's fantastic, and we've really got to acknowledge that and talk about that and celebrate that. And we also discuss some issues that mums might have, and we look at it from the dad's perspective, because sometimes mum may see an issue that dad sees in a slightly different perspective, and sometimes it's just good to try to bash that out. So that's one of the things. I really would love you to get in contact, especially some mums with some scenarios of where they might have had issues, so we can talk through them. It's not about naming and shaming. It's about looking at these issues and just looking from different perspectives, and ultimately just trying to make sure that our children have the best possible life that they can. And finally, Finally, we focus on dads. Well, dad, um, what issues did dad have? Does dad have? Does dad talk about them? I know myself, when I have issues, I'm really good at just keeping them inside, and I'm slowly learning, and I'm trying to encourage other people to do it. Is to talk a little bit more about issues that they might have, to kind of make their lives better, to kind of understand what's going on, and just to make sure that you can be the best possible dad that you can be. We want to talk about how dads cope with the diagnosis. How does the life change? What changes after your child gets diagnosed on the spectrum? Does anything change? And it's understanding those issues and talking them about it. You know, and again, like I said previously, is there anything that you feel unsure about? Feel free to ask. We've got the online forum. You can drop us a message. You can send us an email. So do all that sort of stuff and go from there. We also look at ways in which dad gets along. Does dad feel trapped? Does dad feel like stuck? If there's anything that we can help dad with to try to get him to improve his quality of life. And it's really important that we talk about mental health and the well-being of dad, and that's really important for really important for Dad Talking Autism, and that's really the main reason why I've set up the organisation, is to address that. So that's effectively what Dad Talking Autism does. And I just want to talk to you quickly a little bit about the services that we offer and what we do to try to help dads. So the first thing is, and it's really quite simple, is that we've got a secret group on Facebook, which is for dads only. And the idea is that it's a safe place for if you've got any issues or any concerns, feel free to join up and to ask a question. And there's been some great conversations already, some dads really opening up and getting some challenging responses, and hopefully it just gives you that little bit of an outlet that isn't your mate down the pub, or who doesn't really understand what you're on about, or your partner or your family. It's somebody that feels the same way that you do, that understands your similar experiences. So there's a Facebook group. Like I said, please feel free to join up. It is a secret group, so nobody can see that you're a member of it, which gives you that anonymity, and hopefully just gives you the confidence to ask some things that maybe you wouldn't feel comfortable asking in an open forum. So please come and join on. It is men only. There's no subject that's taboo. So just come along and really join in, because that would be great. I really look forward to speaking to you. We also offer coaching. So I'm a business coach and executive coach. So I offer those services to dads who might feel they're a little bit stuck and might feel they're not going anywhere. And from the perspective that I have, being a dad who has a daughter with autism, I can understand it a little bit more and kind of help you kind of come up with some great action plans that focus on your family and making sure that you are looked after, and making sure that you get what you want to get out of your life, and you're moving forward in a positive way. So that's something we can do. I'll do talks. I'll go anywhere and talk to anybody about the issues that are kind of facing dads in the world of autism. I'm more than happy to talk about it from the perspective of a dad or from a perspective of a mum. I don't mind marrying them together. And again, it's about awareness. It's about speaking out and trying to speak to dads and get dads involved in the conversation, trying to get them to speak a little bit more about what's going on. So those are the services that we offer, but I just really want to make it crystal clear that it's not a crusade. It's not a competition. It's a facilitation. It's if you want to join in the conversation and come and speak to us, feel free to join in. That'd be fantastic. I would really like to hear from you. And it's really about empowering you so that you can go away and you can have the best possible time with your children and with your family, and just really help you grow and go from there. So, like I said, this is a real interactive forum. I really want people to get involved. I really want to hear from you. So you can contact me via my website, which is www.autismdads.co.uk. I'm on Twitter, Twitter handle of Dad Talking. I also have a Facebook page, which is at Dad Talking. Or you can email me at selfwellscoaching@gmail.com. So, please send us some questions, send stuff across to us, and I'd be more than happy to speak to you and talk to you a little bit more about what we do in Dad Talking Autism. And we can go from there. There was one more thing that I really, really wanted to talk to you about, and it's about the content. It's about what I'm looking for, what I need you guys to do to help me develop the content for this blog. So like I said before, the blog is aimed at mums and dads, so it's both men and women. The idea, obviously, we are predominantly looking at how men interact with the families and with the children and with the diagnosis of autism. So, but I'd love to hear from mums. I'd love to hear from the ladies, and basically championing in situations from a dad's point of view, which might be slightly different to a mum. So that's what we're here to kind of understand that and encourage that. And it's talking about these issues that affect dad, to help dad improve communication and make a better life. Make sure the family life is great. That's the whole idea. So from mums, I'd love to hear about what frustrates you. What does dad do that really annoys you? What doesn't dad understand? Send them across, and we'll talk about them. We won't name names, but we can talk about those scenarios, and those scenarios actually coming from people is going to be fantastic. It's going to give us that. It's going to give us more gravitas when we come to speak to them. So please, like I said, email them across to me, message me on Facebook, just send them across. And then from dads, I would love to hear your stories. I'd love to hear, what positive stories you've got. What are you doing to improve your life, or what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Send them across. I'd love to speak to them. I'd love to get you on this blog and get you talking, get you answering some questions. That's something that I'd love to do. I'd like to talk about stuff that maybe you don't understand. So maybe as part of the diagnosis, something's happened, you don't know exactly what it means, and you're a little bit nervous about asking your partner. Ask the other dads. The other dads will have known. So ask a question in the group. Come and join in. That'd be great. And if there's anything that you would like to say to your partner, or any questions that you would like to ask, or anything that you don't agree with, but you kind of don't feel that it's right to necessarily ask straight up, send it over to us, and we'll have a listen. We'll look for some opinion, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. And like I said before, anonymity is guaranteed. If you ask me to do something, I'm more than happy to hide your identity and just make sure we can have some really good conversations about what's affecting us as dads in the world of autism. So again, please drop us a line with your questions. Please drop us a line with your stories. You can contact us at autismdads.co.uk. You can find us on Twitter at Dad Talking. Also, we're on Facebook at Dad Talking, or you can send me an email at selfwellscoaching@gmail.com. So anyway, thanks a lot for your time. This has Ben from Dad Talking Autism, and I look forward to hearing from you all soon. Cheers.